Well, hi there. I've just survived a 6.5 hour train trip, or was that 5.5, something like that. From Amsterdam, I have now arrived in Berlin at the HBF, which is the main railway station. So the weather's about the same temperature as Amsterdam, which was absolutely terrific. So now I'm going to try and catch the M85 bus to my hostel. Fingers crossed I'm in the right place to get the bus. And thanks for being here and thanks for joining me. This is another video of my travels around Europe 2024. So I've just arrived. The bus didn't come. Shared a taxi. Shared a taxi with the lady with the grey backpack. Luckily she was German, so she arranged everything, and then we walked to the hostel. So 2 hours ago it was party. Now it's clean up time. Gotta love it. That's what I had to drink. It was really good. Thank you. Thank you. German schnapps. Well, there you go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good morning. It's my first full day in Berlin today. That's my hostel behind me. It's another high hostel, also known as YHA. Yeah, it's not as fancy as some, but it's certainly clean and tidy. And I have breakfast included in the price I pay, and breakfast was actually really good. Enjoyed it. So I'm glad I've got that for the next few days while I'm here. Now I'm just waiting for a gentleman called Horst. He is part of the International Greeters walking group. Now those are walking tours I can do at no cost to me via local. Now I did do one in Bath, so this is my second one, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So here are some photos that I took during the tour, and I'll introduce you to Horst shortly. But yeah, it was just a great few hours. Really enjoyed it and saw so much that I wouldn't have actually seen without him.
A lot of the rich people lived in this area. But Hitler planned to change Berlin into Germania, the capital of the world, yes?
Okay, so Horst is showing me on his iPad the history of this area, which is really useful. I'm really getting a lot of information, really appreciate it.
A few places here where you have organized flowers.
Ah, yes.
This is one of them. Otherwise, we are more in an English garden and English park.
Yeah, you get that feeling. It's there's a bird up there.
Yes, it seems to be a bird of prey.
Yeah, I think so.
A small one.
Which is great to see a bird of prey here.
We have them here. Yes.
Yeah.
During the time of Napoleon, and she had 9 children and died at the age of 34.
Wow, so
But
young.
she was very, very famous. She was the queen of the people, and her fame lasted for 100 years.
And we're just walking down by all the embassies. Some are old, like this Italian one, and then multiple new ones, depending on the Allies during the war. So I'm back on my own now. That was a really interesting just over an hour with Horst showing me around, and I'm so glad that he had maps to show me some of the history and where the wall had been and what it was like during that time that the wall was erected, and the division between East and West Berlin and Germany. So I'm now walking through the embassies area, and I'll go back to the big park where I was earlier. So I'm back in the Tiergarten that I walked around with Horst, and I'm going to this monument up here that he pointed out to me. So I decided to come up that tower. It cost me €4, but it was a museum as well. So it's pretty cool up here, and I'm only at the first level. And it's Sunday morning, and that may be why the bells are ringing. So up here, this frieze, there's actually all individual tiles. So how cool is that? There's a lot of work in there. Wow, so I made it up to the top of the tower. Wasn't too bad actually. And I had to laugh at a few different landings. They actually had seats where you could sit down. It looks like the weather's really going to change out there. More rain coming in. Excuse me please. Thank you. Just going around here. Lots of people admiring the view. And there's no climbing up. And there's the very top, and it's just starting to rain. And I'm just standing in the doorway of the tower because it's actually going to hose down. There's big black clouds coming and big drops of rain. So just as well that I came up when I did. There's just a few more pictures from inside the tower. These are the stairs that I went up, and here's one of those little sleeps on the landings and a view back to the tower. So this is Bellevue Palace, the official residence of the German president. Very nice, but right on a very busy road, but across the road from the Tiergarten. So this is the Reichstag, or Parliament buildings, which I've got a walk around booked for tomorrow. So I'll just take a photo now while it's not raining, and I'll be back here tomorrow. So Berlin has many, many memorials, and this is just one of them. This is a memorial to the Roma and Sinti people who were captured, assassinated during the war, and a lot of the stories behind their fate. So wandering around, this is the Brandenburg Gate, and you can see that black fence. So lots been happening in Berlin lately. There was of course the football Euro Cup, and then there was the carnival culture yesterday. So there's lots of closed roads and roads that are just reopening. So maybe tomorrow when I come near here this will be open, but I thought I'd do a quick video just in case it's not. So I'm actually standing in the centre of another memorial, and it's not like any memorial I've ever seen. It's just these concrete structures, because they're so stark, because there's no glamour, and that's what happened to the Jews. So this is a memorial to the murdered Jews. Yeah, very emotional. Well, I couldn't understand why this memorial to the Jews was closed on a Monday, because it's an open air situation, but there's actually an information centre just down there, which I've just been in. Again, very confronting. Full description of the extermination of the Jews, the Roma and the Sinti people, with descriptions of how many millions of people were exterminated and from what countries. So yeah, really confronting, but well written and well presented. So I'm currently walking down Unter den Linden, or translated is Lime Street, and because there used to be lots and lots of lime trees here, but they actually all got cut down because they needed the wood. There you go. Once again, just wandered into this great demo. It's where the Volkswagen car was, and all sorts of other cars and historic things that have evolved over time and become iconic. I don't know what this is, but it looks like fun. Oops, this guy got left behind. He's having trouble. Oops. That is not working, buddy. Oh, he's off. Oh, too funny. He's fucking mate. As I wander around Berlin, I'm looking at all these buildings and taking photos and videos, and I was trying to think of the word that is appropriate of these buildings, and I guess ostentatious, opulent, grandeur all spring to mind. And this is another one. It's just a plaza in the middle of, I think it's Humboldt buildings. But it's just like every corner I turn, there's amazing buildings with such decorations and the gold overlaid. It's amazing. Well, this building here is another museum, but it was actually built in 1825 for King Frederick William of Prussia. And right next to it, which is where I was really heading, is the cathedral. I'm going to go and see if I can get in there, and I've noticed people up the top by that green dome in the middle, so hopefully can walk up there as well. So I've come down into this area, and I don't really know what it's called because purportedly it's the oldest area in Berlin. So Berlin doesn't really have an old town, but this is as near as you'll get to it. It's quite nice. Someone's playing some music over there, which is always pleasant. And yeah, obviously other people got the memo because there's quite a few tourists here. So I continued to wander and explore, went into a bank with a beautiful interior. Really like that. It's amazing what you find when you poke your nose through a doorway. And then a church. Well, when I got round to the front, I discovered it wasn't actually a functioning church. It was now a gallery of some amazing sculptures, and the building itself was terrific. I went upstairs and looked back down, and it's just so beautiful. Here's the staircase. So this area is called Topography of Terror, and the reason being is that's one of the last pieces of the Berlin Wall that have been left after it got dismantled in November 1989, so beginning of November. It officially didn't all come down till about a year later, but it was a very historic moment, opening up again East and West Germany. So there had been a lot of revolt, a lot of people trying to get over the wall. The changes in the Soviet had been increasing, so it was well overdue that the wall had to come down. So this is what the wall was like, where the holes were broken. People tried to escape through the wall. I mean, it was just barbaric, it really was. So unlike the memorial for the Jews, where I wasn't allowed to take photos in the information area, it's not a problem to do it here. And there's a lot of history again. This is mainly about the SS and the Gestapo. Lots of photos identifying what was going on. I won't zoom in on those, but so much information, so much that was recorded with pride of what harm they were doing to so many people. So I've just come below where the wall is, and there's all billboards, placards all the way along here to read. And as you can see, even this late in the afternoon, it's near on 6 o'clock, there's still a crowd of people here. So just walking back to the hostel, and I've just gone through this really ultra modern shopping mall, and it's like a whole different Berlin. It's all modern, there's no fancy gold, and it brings me down to the canal, which Horst told me all about this morning. The fact that they put in a canal because the river was too congested with boats for moving things around. So yeah, quite a different sight on my way home. So good morning again from Berlin. I've got a couple of bookings today. One's an underground tour and one's to the Parliament building. But first of all, I'm going to go into this museum. It's called Woman of Resistance. Marlene Dietrich's up there, and Marlene Dietrich's up there, and there's a whole lot of other names that I'm not familiar with, but I'm sure by the time I've finished a half hour or so in there, I will know them and their history and how they were active during the war. So this is one of the places that yesterday Horst showed me, and so I thought I'd come back and have a look inside. So in here we have the story of a number of women who were active in being against the Nazis and the National Socialists, and many of them were, I'll use the term murdered, because they were exterminated, as were the Romas, the Sintis and the Jews. So this building that I'm walking through with these displays, the one with the woman and the one upstairs, which is a permanent display and more of a story of what happened and about the coup, the building was actually the building that was used for a lot of the meetings and so forth. So it's got historic significance, and the fact that they've restored it and put the display in here is interesting. So just around the corner from that Resistance Museum is this house right next to an art gallery, and here we can see the remains of all the bullet damage which occurred during the wars. Well, I'm on my first public transport within Berlin. I'm on a double-decker bus, so hopefully I'll end up where I'm planning to go, which is an underground tour. So I've given myself plenty of time, so that should be all good, fingers crossed. I've got a 24-hour ticket. So this is another significant place. This is where the US Army checkpoint was. The underground now. I've been on the bus, now I'm going on the metro or underground. So here I am ready for my underground tour. I've got my hairnet on and my helmet on. It looks like I'm behind bars, but it's actually just a fence. So I had to have a bit of a rush to get here from the metro. Lots of stairs, but just as well, I've been keeping fit. So I can't take photographs on the underground tour apparently, so you'll just have to take my word for it.
To somebody while walking like this, that's not a good idea. Photography is not allowed inside, and so is food. So no.
Wow, that was a fascinating tour. One of the things I couldn't work out for quite some time is we were in a multi-story tower. And you see the top of it there, but see that platform there? That's on top of a hill. So the hill is all artificially made. It was just a pile of rubble taken right up to almost the full height of the tower. And the tower was actually destroyed. And it wasn't totally flattened. So what was left, they've recreated and cleaned up all the rubble, and we could do the tour through it. It was absolutely fascinating. Really found it very, very interesting. It wasn't the only one of these towers. There was a few others in Vienna and a few other places. So yeah, pop online. I will put the link in my description, or I'll put it here, and hopefully I can find some more photos online. So not very good photos, I'm sorry, so best to click on the link to see more. So I'm up here on the other tower. They were linked underground. So all this park is just rubble. It's just all man-made, reconstructed. As you can see, Berlin's a very flat city. The only mountains here are actually rubble mountains. And yeah, there's the Brandenburg Gate yet again, but now no security barriers. So I didn't manage to get a parliament tour this time, but I did manage to get entry to this building, which is the Reichstag, or the Parliament building. So that's pretty cool. I'm right up the top here now by the dome, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to go in. Let's wait and see. And I get a view right over the city and down into the courtyard. So I've walked up a spiral ramp with my audio tour, which has been really informative. It's been pointing out various buildings and giving a bit of history. Definitely worth picking up the audio tour, and it came like entry to the building at no cost. So I'm right up at the top of the viewing platform, and what I'm showing you now is actually open to the sky. So if it rains or snows, anything that comes in actually goes down into this thing in the middle, and so it doesn't do any damage in the building. That's very cool. Very interesting building. So here you can see all the people coming up in the various levels of the ramp. It's a really easy walk, a very gradual climb, no effort whatsoever. I'm back catching the metro again, rather than walking. The metro system's really good, and I might as well use my 24-hour card. But what I'd like to point out is up here, it tells you how many minutes before the next train. And that is just so efficient. So after catching 3 metro trains, I'm at the Oberbaum Bridge, which is very cool. Look at that for a bridge. It's like one of the must-go-to places to check out in Berlin. So, totally off topic of tourism, but I've seen these big pipes in a few different areas and I had no idea what they were for. So just checked it out, and when they do construction, they actually have to detour the water because they're digging underground. So it's as simple as that. It's just rerouting the water. So another reason I caught those trains was to come to the East Side Gallery, which is the east side of the Berlin Wall. So I will move along further as the sun's right on top of the wall at the moment. So this art wall actually goes on for 1.3 kilometres. I'm certainly not videoing it all. So I'll just toss in lots of still photos because it was just so interesting, and I'm so glad this is the last thing I'm doing in Berlin. And I think, like the saying goes, save the best till last. Good morning, here I am again in a railway station. I'm currently in the Berlin HBF, and that's the German word. And I'm just about to board my train to Dresden. So thank you for watching my video on Berlin. As you can see, it's an amazing city. Definitely suggest if you're thinking of travelling here, do. There's plenty to do. But also leave yourself 3 or 4 days. 2 days was really a bit rushed. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and till next time, bye for now.